So you heard it all, you saw it, we did that earned value problem. It did take a while. My question to you is, what are you going to do on the exam? Are you just going to answer every question that you find in strict rotation? Or are you going to choose to do some right then and there and leave others till you have found your gimmies? This is one of the problems on the exam. You find a question that you think you are quite good at, but you just don't have ample time to mess around with numbers. So if I were you and I found a question such as the one that I just presented to you on the exam, if that was me, I honestly wouldn't answer that question right off the bat. I would leave that question alone until I have found my gimmies. You need to find your gimmies. If you don't find your gimmies and you're messing around with these lengthy questions like that, like the one I just showed you, kind of risky. So my advice to you would be, before playing with these big questions, you might want to make sure you found your gimmies. Okay, that's my 2 cents. So let's take a look at this sheet. You can see this sheet I'm showing you right here. This is the matrix, Phill's matrix. And in Phill's matrix, you can see on that side over there, we have got resources. And if you take a look at the top, we've got integration. So obviously, I am going to be plotting with you today resources that way and integration that you see up above. So why don't we get started? Let's, as usual, open up our books. I don't like being a speed demon on these ones. I like taking them very slow because there is so much to absorb. This matrix is a beast, and this is just one. Hey, for those of you that have started on the matrices, let me show you something else you could do, something else that you could find rather interesting here. So in addition to this 2x2 matrix, for those of you who want something more advanced, what I would recommend is going for a second mapping at the top. So this is for those who feel, I want to do it all at once. Phil, you're going too slow. Well, it's my matrix, but if you want to have more fun, more bang for your buck, you can actually plot from here to yet another one. So you could have plan cost management, estimate cost, determine budget, control cost, and then you can map either from here into integration or from integration into these. It really depends on what you want. But I thought I should let you know you can have 3 different knowledge areas interacting. If you want, you can actually put this on the side to here, like that, if you want. And you can plot the intersection points as well. So there's all sorts of permutations and combinations. But for now, let's just focus on the easy peasy 1-to-1. Someone said, Phil, that in and of itself is enough. I understand. It's quite an unending mix, isn't it, of fun. So let's take a look at resources. We're going to chapter 9. Now in this session, I am going to be going a little bit quicker. So we're gonna be trying to find as many mappings as we can all at once. Okay? So we're looking at outputs from plan resource management that go into, for those of you who have not seen this before, here's the logic. The logic is to go from here into here. and see if there are any interconnection points. So we do that for 1 times 7. See that? That in and of itself is 7 different options, and then you have another 7 and another 7. So you got 42 possibilities, and that's why I'm going to go pretty quick on this one. Okay, so any mapping from plan resource management to develop project charter. To answer that, you kind of need to know the history of what comes out of plan resource management. So what comes out of plan resource management, if you follow me to page 312 in that favorite book of yours called the PMP Guide, you'll discover that there are no interconnection points. Okay, so there are no interconnection points between plan resource management and develop project charter. Okay, now you see that you have another type of charter called a team charter coming out of plan resource management. Now the way to make the map, this is where being a boss comes in. This is where you become proficient with the ITTOs, specifically the inputs and outputs. So if you look at this and you know there's nothing from plan resource management that goes into develop project charter, that's the level I want you to be at. I want you to be able to look at 2 processes and say, all right, these are separated by 2 degrees or by 1 degree or by 0 degree. There is no connection between them. So let's go to develop project charter. You can see the inputs to develop project charter are business case, benefits management plan, agreements, EFSOPA. Someone says, no benefits management plan listed in the current one. Remember, the PMI always says could include, but is not limited to. So as you're putting a charter together, the benefits management plan could be relevant. I have no idea why it was taken out from the list. I think that was an error. I think it should have been left in there, So, but anyway, they've taken it out. So there's no connection here. Taking a look at plan resource management and develop project management plan, you see, there's no connection. So what we can do for all these guys right here, just to make sure we understand what is happening, I'm going to go ahead and just make these gray so we know there's no connection here. Nothing comes out of resource management that goes into develop project charter. Now, something comes out of resource management that goes into develop project management plan, right? So right here, you can see we've got outputs from other processes coming from all those processes and going in here. And one of this is going to be the resource management plan, right? So I hope you remember that. So let's type in resource management plan there. All right, so this is a valid input, resource management plan. Now, it doesn't appear like this in the PMP guide, but you need to remember that these outputs from other processes are important. And in these matrices, I like to call them out so that people truly know, hey, there is a relationship here between plan resource management and develop project management plan. It's very easy for people to forget if they're not seasoned in this journey. So if you go to page 87, what I'm calling out is a resource management plan. You can check out that bullet there. And if you go to page 82, where it says any baseline or component plan in figure 4-5, I'm also calling that out. I'm bringing it to the surface because it often gets lost. People forget, hey, all roads from these subsidiary planning processes lead there. All right. So let's move on to direct and manage project work. So again, what we can do here again is just make these gray these out, just so that you remember there is nothing from resources, nothing else that goes in here. Okay, technically speaking. We could argue change requests go here, there, and get approved, and there's a feedback loop of updates. Yes, we know that, but let's not get into that. Let's keep it at this sensible level. All right, let's go to direct and manage project work 4.3. So if you go to 4.3 and you take a look down, what do you see? You see nothing mentioning the resource word. You've got change log, lessons learned register, milestone list, project communications, project schedule, but nothing relating to the resources. So we can block all of this out. There is no relationship. Now, no direct relationship, because you know all knowledge areas are somewhat connected to others by virtue of the fact that they all have a subsidiary plan in the big project management plan, which is an input to all processes except develop project charter and develop project management plan. See? So all knowledge areas are somewhat connected even as a result of that. All right, let's go to manage project knowledge and let's see if there's anything from resources that goes in here. Page 98. So taking a look at page 98, ding, 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 we've got one input. It is the resource breakdown structure. So I'm hoping you remember where your RBS comes from. The resource breakdown structure comes from here. Resource breakdown structure. Okay, so your resource breakdown structure comes from estimate activity resources. Okay, your other RBS, because there are two. There's a risk breakdown structure, there's a resource breakdown structure. Don't mix them up. So looking at managed project knowledge, we've got our resource breakdown structure going in. We also have another input from resources in the shape of project team assignments. So your project team assignments, do you remember where they come from? Right here. Project team assignments. All right, so for those of you just joining, we are taking a look at resources versus integration mapping today. This is meant to help people better understand. Now, for those people who say there's no need to do that, good luck to you, buddy. Well, maybe you're one of those whiz kids who knows everything. Great. But there are a lot of people struggling with ITTOs, and they need to just visualize and see and understand these mappings. Acquire resources gives you your project team assignments, and those are also an input to manage project knowledge. Okay? Highly advise you to do these matrices. If you're struggling, you are not able to understand how the mapping occurs, slow down, map one knowledge area to another, and do that for the different permutations. You've got 10. I think you got 90 different permutations or something like that. Maybe I'm getting it wrong. N factorial, I thought it was that. Anyway, maybe I'm getting them mixed up. But anyway, that's what you get from these two. Okay, so if you're following along with me, I was looking at page 98 and I was looking at the inputs to manage project knowledge, and we can see we've got project team assignments, resource breakdown structure, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is gray out whatever is not relevant to our image here. So let's gray out these. Oh, I'm so sorry. How rude. I was actually blocking your view. So let me move Phill out of the way. I didn't notice. I am very sorry. I've been blocking your view for two processes here. All right, let's just put him at the top. There you go, Phill. Up to the top. Let's keep him out of trouble. Aha, much better. All right. So for those folks who just arrived, or those of you who've been here, I was talking about resource breakdown structure coming out of this and then going into this. That is one relationship. And I also talked about acquire resources, giving you project team assignments, which goes into manage project knowledge. Now, what I like doing whenever I see these relationships is actually reading to find out why these relationships exist. So, I am going to page 101, and let's just read casually. Resource breakdown structure. Described in 9.2.3.3. The resource breakdown structure includes information on the composition of the team and may help to understand what knowledge is available as a group and what knowledge is missing. So you're working on a project, you know what you're meant to be doing, you realize medical knowledge is needed. There's some folks that have a particular type of medical knowledge, but it's not sufficient. You're gonna need an MD. So if you don't have an MD, across the entire project, well, that may be a realization that you need to find an MD, to be on your advisory board or what have you. And then the other mention here of project team assignments, it says, project team assignments provide information on the type of competencies and experience available in the project and knowledge that may be missing. Again, same thing. We need an MD. We don't have an MD. We've got an RN. That's cool, but we need an MD. So it helps you realize what is missing. And, of course, being able to find what is missing, you first of all need to know it's missing. All right, so in terms of managed project knowledge, which is where these go, this is going to help us fine-tune how to get that knowledge. Maybe a community of practice is all we need, or maybe we need someone to come in more frequently to share knowledge. Not necessarily to do stuff on the project, but to share experience and knowledge that could help. Okay, so we have spoken about 1, 2, 3, 4 of the processes of integration, and there are no more here either. So let us gray those out. Okay, let us move on to monitor and control project work. So monitor and control project work, page 113. Take a look down. Let's see what we've got as inputs here. Change management plan, configuration management plan, baselines of scope, schedule, and cost, BOEs, basis of estimates. Now do remember you do have bases of estimates from various processes, but let's hone in and find out which BOE is being spoken about here. Did I just jump? I'm sorry, I just jumped. I got all excited and went to perform integrated change control. Okay, hold on to that thought. Let's go back to monitor and control project work. All right, this is on page 105. Good. So, looking at page 105, let's see what we've got here. Assumption log, we've got BOE again. So let's find out which BOE is being spoken about here in monitor and control project work. Taking a look at BOEs, it says, described in section 6.4.3.2 and 7.2.3.2, BOEs indicate how the various estimates were derived and can be used to make a decision on how to respond to variances. So that is not pertaining directly to resources. So we're going to leave EAR alone. We're not going to make any mapping there. And taking a look down all the other inputs, there really is no other input from resource management. So let's put some gray blocks in here. Let's do the same for perform integrated change control. Let's check the reference made to BOEs. I think this may be a wider net. I would have expected it to be. So let's go to BOEs on page 116. So it says, described in section 6.4.3.2, base of estimates indicate how the duration, cost, and, there we go, just as expected, resource estimates were derived. So, with that said, we probably can infer some relationship here. Okay, and I'm going to go back to 4.5 just to make sure we didn't misread that. Okay. So I like the way they mentioned resources because very specific. So your BOEs come from estimate activity resources. So that is one of the places you get your BOEs. Okay, so basis of estimates. Okay, so again, you get BOEs from here, and your BOEs become an input to perform integrated change control, and the PMI have told you why. Because it indicates how the duration, cost, and resource estimates were derived and can be used to calculate the impact of the change in time, in budget, and resources. So that's that. Okie doke. Get your questions ready because as soon as I'm done, if there are questions, I would be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. So that is BOE. And there is no input from here. Let's go down the remainder of perform integrated change control. Nothing else from resources to my knowledge. So let us do the same. Excuse me for a second. All right, not that bad. Okay. So that's that. And we've got one more left. You see, that didn't take long. It did not. But it's very productive to see those interfaces of where one knowledge area interact with another. And you probably noticed I've been going for a lot of the big knowledge areas. Resources has 6, integration has 7, risk has 7, you know, big ones like that. Scope, resources, integration, scope, risk. Yeah, those, they are very beefy. And of course, schedule, you know, 4 of those, they give you so many processes in the mix. All right, so let's check out the final one, close project or phase. Close project or phase on page 121. Take a look at page 121. You look down the list. What do you see from the world of resources? Do you see anything from resources going into close project or phase? Let's explore. All right, so we've got project charter, project management plan, all components, assumption log, basis of estimates, BOE. Let's find out which BOEs they're talking about here. So follow me on to page 124. It says, the basis of estimates is used to calculate how the estimation of durations, costs, resources, ding, 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 magic word, resources. For that reason, we're going to include base of estimates here as something to think about. But let's find out why before we get so excited. It says, page 124, base of estimates is used to evaluate how the estimation of durations, cost, resources, and cost control compared to the actual results. Okay. So, taking a look at your basis of estimates, did you base your estimates on the right parameters? Are you smack dab in line or are you off? So we can put in a gray square there. Let's continue going to the bottom. Change log, issue log, LLR, milestone list, project communications, quality control measurements, quality reports, requirements documentation, risk register, risk report. End of story. So with that, my friends, we just got done with this map. resources to integration. And integration is so important. I mean, at a minimum, you should map every one of those processes or those knowledge areas to integration, because it is 25% of the PMP exam. If you don't know how I got that number, hunt around the channel and you'll find a video where I go into that stuff. Okay? So those folks who are just coming, we're looking at integration. Okay? Integration to resources. All right? Cool. I hope this clarifies a few things for you. I hope it narrows your focus. I hope it shows you how you need to be thinking. This is not about cramming matrices. This is about working out details to understand the interconnection points, to become more dominant regarding the PMBOK guide, to not be weak when it comes to breaking down the guide. It's to strengthen you. Think about it like going for a workout. This is your PMBOK guide workout for you to stretch your PMBOK muscle. That's what it's all about. Okay, the stronger you are, the more dominant you are with a guide, being able to have a command of the knowledge, the better your chances on the exam. The more you can command, excellence with the lingo, the better you're going to be. So that's my 2 cents. Play around with the matrices, have fun with it all, and hopefully by the time that is done, you will come away understanding this dogma a lot more. All right, now before I hop off, do you have any questions about anything I have spoken about today that I can answer for you? Are you stuck? Are you in a stuck state in your prep? Are you going for the right training? Some of you are still on that Mickey Mouse course. I feel sorry for you. What are you waiting for? You need to have abandoned ship like 2 decades ago to come on board my program where I can boot you into shape. So I don't know what you're waiting for. I don't at this present time have any live training other than one-on-ones. And if you want one-on-one training, go to pmsucceed.com. I advise you to sign up, check out what I have out there as far as one-on-ones. I'll be more than happy to have one of those with you. But yeah, you gotta book it. Okay? So any questions? I see that the queue is glaringly empty, which means everyone is at work trying to get the daily grind in, huh? You're trying to get the daily grind in, or is it that you know everything? I made it crystal clear, did I? Okay. Well, I'm going to give it 1 more minute. Going once. Going twice. Going thrice. Okay. Well, it looks like I hit a home run today. I made a slam dunk, so everyone knows exactly what I was talking about. There is no confusion, I hope. For those of you who are new to the channel and you don't really know a lot about the options that we have out there, I want to call them out. I want to call out the Praizion.com site. Go there. A lot of people struggle on their own. Don't struggle on your own. We have got great training aids, great training materials to help you. So go to Praizion.com. Scroll down, take a look at this course right here. It's called PMP Exam Prep Camp. That's the one you want to be on. This one right here. Okay? And if you're stuck, just let us know. We'll get back to you as soon as we can with answers to your questions. Okay? And that's all I've got for now. It's going to about an hour. I've been chilling out here with you, talking about PMBOK guide stuff. Thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate your followership on the channel. Appreciate you just hanging around to talk to your good old buddy, Phill. Or is it your friendly friend, Phill? I'll speak to you guys very soon. and I wish you all the best on your exam. Those folks who aced the exam recently, so I've given a shout out to Ilonda. Who's our other student? Wow. I tend to forget once in a while, but you know who you are. You recently passed the exam. Kenny, how could I forget? Kenny, well done. Kenny came aboard this same course I'm showing you right here, and he took a 1 week course. 1 week. He came aboard, took the mock exams, went through the content, and said the real exam was smack dab in line with the mock exam from this course. So do what you need to do. Just jump on this course. Seriously. There are not many courses out there that even come close. The mock exams, forget it. This is in a world of its own. Okay? When it comes to the mock exams, very predictable. But when it comes to the content and the video and the breakdown, I ain't seen nothing like it. It's very detailed. Video for each process, and videos, again, for each knowledge area. So this is your friend Phil talking to you. If you went for a crummy course, like one of my students, Dre, contacted me today, said, Phil, in my training, I was like a high schooler in the midst of kindergartners, cause he was light years ahead, even having to correct the instructor because he had taken our course. This course is a great way of you preparing for your live course. So don't let the price fool you. I know it looks cheap, okay? It's just $99 for a week or $165 for a month. So it seems like, oh, that's rather low. Don't be deceived. This course will teach you stuff that your live training doesn't even know. Seriously. Enough said. You know, I keep it real. I don't just blow hot air. You know, that's why the likes of NASA and the U.S. Air Force, the FBI, Department of Transport, that's why they call me to train them, you see, because I keep it real. If I ain't got it, I tell you I ain't got it. I look for someone who got it. But when I got it, I tell you I got it. And this slam dunk, if you really mean business, you really mean to work for your PMP, come on the program, okay? Join the Savage on Saturday Phase 2. Phase 2 is not open to the public, by the way. It's open to those who sign up for the training. Join the Phase 2 group, get on, and let's do this thing, all right? Thank you very much. I'm going to get off my soapbox for now. I'll speak to you guys at some point in the future. Bye for now. Adios.